I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our reaction to Munguia versus Rosado, Gabe Rosado. And now we just got word we will be able to get Trill Dollar Bill in here at some point. So at some point we will have everyone. Now Munguia got a decision over Gabe Rosado, and Gabe was upset and frustrated with the decision. To the surprise of everyone. All right, Conspiracy, what was your reaction to the fight?
Well, before I talk about the fight, it was funny. Rosado out of nowhere, yo, put on them glasses. Give me them big ass glasses so nobody can see the damage on my face. I'm like, bruh, stop it, man. But the fight though was great. Another Mexico versus Puerto Rico classic. Munguia, man, this young boy is a problem. He doesn't just throw punches, he throws combinations. He was throwing like 5 punch combinations. And, Rosado, although what I like about Rosado is he's always dangerous. So even in later rounds, like he's done in the past, he can still knock you out. So I was always at the edge of my feet during the fight, like, yo, like, you better be safe. And there'd be times he'll get caught by Rosado. And I'm like, oh, man. And it's like certain rounds where I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it to Rosado. Then Munguia does something. Or I'm going to give it to Munguia. Then Rosado does something. So it was like good. It was a great fight, but the problem with Rosado was, it's like the later rounds, he seemed like he was fading even more. His punches got a lot slower. Like, Munguia, even though he looked exhausted, every time he got to a stool, like he was looking like, oh man, this might be his last round. I don't know. But when the bell rang, he went back to the combinations, back to movement. It looked like in the ring, like while the fight was going on within those 3 minutes, it looked like he wasn't fading. Once the bell rings, he goes to his corner, he's looking like he's exhausted. So I'm like, oh man, yo, Rosado, this is your moment, this is your chance. But it wasn't working. And come to find out, Rosado looked more exhausted than Munguia during the fight. Like in the later rounds, the straight right hand was slow. His hooks were slow. I was just like, oh man. So it was like you could tell Rosado was like relying on it was almost like a Wilder situation where it's like you're exhausted and you're like, hey, if I land this right hand, I'm back in it. But it just fell short. But regardless, great fight, highly entertaining. People were like, you could see the audience was staring to their feet, so. Man, Munguia, man, that's a good. He has a bright future in boxing.
Yeah, Munguia, he looked improved. Now he has the legendary Eric Morales in his corner as his trainer now, and it looks like it's paying dividends. Where he looked more under control. He did take some shots from Gabe Rosado, and he also showed a great chin because he was able to take those shots, still stay in the fight, and also land punches of his own. And you're right, it looked like he was going to fade. And in many ways, I think that was Gabe's plan to get him into the later rounds. And when he fades, take control. But what happened was Munguia kept a consistent body attack on Gabe. And Gabe never really had a body attack for Munguia. And so to me, I couldn't understand what he was doing because Munguia is a high activity fighter anyway. He's active. He throws a lot of punches per round. So I don't know what Gabe was thinking. You want him to gas out, but you got to help him gas out. You got to throw punches to the body, and he wasn't doing that. It was like he was just looking for the counter. And he landed a lot of good counters on Munguia, but Munguia was able to walk through him. And Gabe isn't really known as a one-punch knockout guy. I think if you look at all the fights he's had, he doesn't have a very high KO percentage. He has power, but again, the way he was fighting was as if he was a guy with a 90% KO ratio. And I think Munguia was faster. Munguia had better combination punching. The thing with Munguia was he did get hit with a lot of clean counters. And, for me, that was troublesome and worrisome. But overall, I think Munguia looked good. He beat Gabe a lot easily and a lot easier than other fighters like, say, Danny Jacobs. So that's a testament to him. Maybe even give Munguia Danny Jacobs next, and let's see what he does with Danny Jacobs. But we'll get into Munguia in a second. But I was impressed with Munguia. I think Rosado had his last hurrah, in my opinion. But who knows? He did well enough to get another fight against another young up and coming contender. You know, he proved he's still a live dog and a live gatekeeper. But
yeah, so I was about to ask that question. Do you think Rosado is officially now a gatekeeper? Because I think
officially now,
yeah,
I think he's been one.
Oh.
Nah, I mean, you got to be a gatekeeper. People, you know, gatekeeper gets a bad rep, right? Like, but that just means that if you're mediocre, you can't beat me.
Mm-hmm.
If you beat me, that means you may be ready for the top tier. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Rosado beat Munguia, that would put Rosado set up for a possible Charlo or Boo Boo fight. So I was like, you know, can you still be a gatekeeper if you get a shot at a champion? You know what I mean? But after you got beat up by Prospect, I think, yeah, it's official, bro. You a gatekeeper now, you know?
Oh, well, I mean, he's had a title shot before.
Mm-hmm.
So has Derek Chisora. I mean, I think basically when you say like someone's a gatekeeper, it means that like they never really reached the pinnacle, but they get big wins, you know, and they beat the prospects. Like if you're a prospect or you're up and comer and you want to know whether this person's ready for the elite, you give them the game. Yeah. So, you know. All right. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Remember, we are close to 14,000 subs and we're even close to 15,000 subs. So if you've been watching a few videos and you haven't subscribed yet, why not? What are you waiting for? You don't like our take on certain fighters, but if you're watching, you should still just hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Peace.